I'm glad that you're here and you're able to make it for the webinar. And I want to assure you that this webinar is not just another motivational talk one. All right, so this is a webinar, like I said, hosted by Liberty Career Academy, and it is designed for individuals across different stages of life and career who are interested in building intentional habits, focus, and discipline for sustained growth in 2026. All right, so welcome once again to this webinar. This webinar is about clarity, it's about structure, and it's about practical habits that will support your consistent growth and progress. All right. Without much further ado, I want you to join me to welcome our guest speaker, in the person of Dr. Osazuwa.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Osazuwa Ighodaro. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to see. I even saw one of my colleagues here. That's interesting. And I also want to say thank you to my mentor, Uncle Benga. I call him Uncle Benga. Everybody knows him at Benga Rufat, but I call him Uncle Benga, for giving me the opportunity to be here. And I would say this: I joined LCA, I think 2021 thereabout, and I joined as a mentee. Interestingly, I never failed to say this. I had two mentors, Uncle Benga and Dr. Ayo, and since then, I've seen tremendous growth, and thankfully, I'm now a mentor in LCA. But I would say that this wasn't just it wasn't a sprint; it was a marathon, and it's daily intentional growth, particularly with the help of the mentors, and that's where I am today. So I'll just say my name is Osazuwa Ighodaro. Everybody calls me Osas. I am a medical doctor, resident doctor here in England, currently working in an area called Worcester in the West Midlands, and I live in Coventry. So I'll go straight to it, the game changer. As I said, thanks to my boss for giving me this opportunity. I will be sharing slides, but I would say everyone would say, oh, it's 2026. Let's have plans, let's have goals. But you notice that after the first few days, I would not say the first few weeks, because many people fall by the wayside in the first few weeks. First few days, you see people going back to their old ways. Say, well, I'm tired. During the talk, I'm just going to mention a lot of things, and I'll still tell you my own story. And I think when I tell you my story, and I think it's going to help you to understand how intentional you need to take your growth, and how intentional you need to fight against the setbacks that you might occur, or the obstructions to your growth. So you should put that at the back of your mind. And sorry, I'm going to probably relate some things to the health factor as well, because whether we like it or not, your intentionality in your growth in every aspect of your life would also influence in your health, both your physical health and even your mental health. You know, there is a clamor for mental health in this current dispensation, and which is key. But the way you put yourself and plant yourself in the beginning of the year is going to ensure to point you to the right trajectory at the end of the year. So you say, this year has gone again. What did I even achieve this year? This year I've gone again. Then you wait for 31st again. You have a lot of sets of rules and sets of New Year resolutions for 2027. And it just keeps going and going and going and going. But I hope that after this session will not be like that. All right. So as I said, I'm going to be sharing some slides. I hope. If I were to do a roll call, or if I were to ask each and every one of us individually, what would you want to achieve this year? And many of us will say, yes, I want to, for probably those that are students or probably soon graduating, or I want to graduate, I want to get a job, I want to make money. And for those who are probably in other aspects of their life. Yes, I want to have different streams of income. I want to ensure that I have a lot of money coming in. I want to be very comfortable. I want to travel. Every one of us have hopes, we have dreams, we have aspirations. Some of us have it in our head. Some of us have it written down. Some of us have it on our phones. Some of us have it. Some of us don't even have it. And is it bad to have it? No. However, when you have such ideas or when you have such plans, the question is not a matter of having them. The matter is execution rather. And if I were to ask you the same question in 2024, when you enter 2025, you might be shocked that you might probably have some similar plans and aspirations in 2026 rather. Where am I driving at? You might probably have recycled plans. You'll be recycling and recycling and recycling and recycling and recycling it. Either number one, it's a long-term goal, or you have embraced with full chest the act of procrastination or lack of discipline, which sadly, statistically speaking, it said that 20 to 25%, you could check it on World Metrics, it's published here and there, 20 to 25 people suffer from procrastination. And these are setbacks that cause us to recycle so many of our goals. Or after the first two weeks or 1 week or 1 month of entering a new year, we now say, oh, I'm tired, I want to go back again. And that's why Albert Einstein said, I think that's the next slide. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I will say clearly, to achieve what you want to achieve, MTN's adverts, for those who are not Gen Zs, to achieve what you want to achieve this year, your goals and your aspirations this year, you would not expect some of the tactics, some of the strategies, some of the modus operandi of 2025 to be applicable in 2026. The world is changing, and you should change with it. You should update your knowledge. You should upgrade your knowledge. I'll go ahead and say it again. So, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So you can't tell me that, oh, the strategies you applied in 2025 are what you're going to apply in 2026 and you get a different result. If those strategies you applied in 2025 worked, you will not be where you are in 2026. I don't know if that makes sense. So I want us to put that at the back of our mind that I should be ready to make some deliberate and intentional changes. Because I'll tell you the side effects, the outcomes, the possible effect of not doing this. So when you don't achieve some of your goals, you get into distress. You get stressed out. So, oh, I've not achieved these goals. And these are probably life goals that will transform you or elevate you to where you want to be. It increases your stress level. And when you increase your stress level, you have the risk of increasing your corticosteroids level, because corticosteroids, now I'm going to go a little bit medical, corticosteroids is secreted in everybody's body, and these in itself can reduce your immune system. Corticosteroids are known to reduce the immune system. So you can see your stress is impeding on your immune system itself, and thereby allowing for infections to come and play, and which further weakens someone's body and which further weakens them from achieving their goals. I don't know if you understand the algorithm. I am stressed. I've increased my stress level and my stress hormone. This is impinging on my immune system, and in the long term causes me to not be able to even achieve what I want to achieve, because I'm not physical enough, I'm not well enough to do that which I need to do. So in 2026, we need to change those ideologies. We need to be very intentional. We need to take the bull by the horn. We need to say, hey, this year, I am going to make a change that will not only affect me, but it will affect my generations to come. Now, I'll tell you something about my story. while in 2021, I came into LCA not knowing what I wanted. If I was a wandering generality, meaning, because when you come to medicine, for example, I'm a doctor, you have a goal. Oh, I want to be a specialist in this field. I want to be a specialist in that field. All the fields were very interesting. Is it pediatric? Pediatrics is taking care of children. Is it surgery? Surgery is nice. I just want to go and cut and suture. Is it public health? I was so interested in everything, or emergency medicine. But when I came to LCA, thanks to my mentor, Uncle Benga, and my other mentor, I was able to redefine where I wanted to be and intentionally make plans on what gets to where I want to be. I don't know if I'm making sense. If I'm making sense, can I see? Sorry, can I just want to be sure that people are following me on this. Okay.
Yes, we are following you.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, all right. So I had to be intentional about this, and that's right. Now I'll give you other aspects. I'm into research. I've met a lot of people who do research, and the reason they don't want to work, the reason I can't work with them is because my interest in research is different from their interest in research. We're all doing research. We all have publications in different journals. We all have publications everywhere. ResearchGate, Google Scholar, we all have, and they go ahead and publish in different journals. But I'm interested in emergency medicine. The guy is interested in oncology, which is cancer related. There are two different specialties. So except I'm doing a research that relates to two of them, I'm just going to follow in the bandwagon and the common sayings that anywhere belief is, oh, because it's the happening thing, I want to go and join it. No, you need to know what you want. So that's why it brings me to the next question. When, as you enter the year, be clear on what you want. I'll say this over and over and over and over again. Be clear on what you want. That's where mentorship comes into play. Many of us want to be everything. But see, you can't be a wandering generality. You need to be a meaningful specific. Don't be a wandering generality, but rather be what? A meaningful specific. Be clear on what you want. So what do you want? What are the things you want to achieve this year? State them and be very specific. You won't say, I want to buy a house. Where? I want to invest. Invest where? I want to do research. Where do you want to do the research? What kind of research do you want to do? Because when it comes to research, for example, I want to do the systematic review, there's randomized control trial. There are different forms. Be clear and be very intentionally specific on what you want. To the finite details. I want to be a sailor. Sailor where? I don't know if I'm making sense. So I want you to know that in this year, for you to achieve your goals and your ambitions, for you to have those beautiful pictures you want to post on Instagram, text, social media, and Facebook, you need to be first clear on what you want. Because people only follow those that knows where they are going to. And not anywhere, say, oh, let's just be going because it's a normal thing. You know, I come online, it's no offense to those who are content creators. I see everybody wants to be a content creator. I'm like, why? Is this a new trend? I don't have issues with it, but my own concern is if you choose to be a content creator, be specific on what you want in that content creation. Be specific, be clear. It's not, when I go on some people's profile, today they are doing health. Tomorrow they are doing finances. Why it's just like people who do podcasts. When you go to some wonderful podcasts, I listen to some beautiful podcasts. These people have picked a niche and they decided that this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to do it and this is where I'm going to achieve it. So when we need such resource, we go there and we sort them. In this year, the first and foremost thing you should know is be clear on what you want. And I would say this, you might not have the bigger picture now, but as you've already had an idea of this is where I want to go, and this is what I want to do. I told myself I want to become an emergency medicine physician. Fine. What do I need to be? Which kind of emergency medicine physician do I want to be? Be very clear. That brings me to the next question. The next slide. Yes. Why do you want it? Who would you want it with? Where would you want it? When do you want it to be? And how do you want it to be? These are basic questions that would help you to clarify the clarity on what you want. So I'll break it down. Why do I want to be this? Why do I want to be an artist? Why do I want to be a content creator? Is it because other people are doing it? Why do I want to become a medical emergency medicine physician? Is it because every other person knows? Is it because they have more money? And that could probably be your reason. But be very, very clear on why you want it. Because when you're able to answer these 5 questions, you would not be distracted along the way. I hope I'm making sense. So why do you want this specialty? You know, I will still tell you my story. I said during the course of this discussion, I'll be giving you inside my story. Uncle Benga asked me, that's my mentor, why do you want to do this? Because he asked me which of these specialties would you like, or what would you want? I gave him 3. And he said, why do you want this? So I told him, oh yeah, I feel that I love the adrenaline. I want to be able to deliver quick and quality life-saving healthcare services to people in and outside of Nigeria. So that answers the question of number 2. Who do you want it to be? Is it only Nigeria? Because at that time I was in Nigeria, or outside. So mine is not just Nigeria, everywhere, all over the globe. So that brings me to, in that aspect of your life that you have chosen, you say, okay, I want to be, I want to go into bioinformatics. I want to do internet, digital marketing. Have you answered the question why you want to do digital marketing? Have you answered the questions why you want to do this sort of business? And who do you want to do it with? So the question is, are you choosing a space just within Nigeria, outside Nigeria, or let's even say, are you saying it's just within Edo states, within Delta states, within Kogi states, or you are going to go beyond that? So, but I would really encourage you to see beyond Nigeria. I would boldly say that. And where would you want it to be? So the question is, when you've laid and stated your dreams, I want to do this year, I want to do this year, I want to do this year, you should state who you want to do it with, and not people who are confused. Not people who are confused, be clear on those you want to work with. Then where am I going to apply this knowledge? Where am I going to apply this app? Where will it be needed? And another question is when. So it's key, because you need to put the time bound. You need to put a time bound to your goals. And if you don't put the time bound, you would be very you'll be very laid back when it comes to achieving these goals. How do I mean? So I want to get a house in August. So I want to get a house this year. That is scenario 1. I want to get a house this year. I'm not specific on when I want to get the house. I'm not specific on where I want to get a house. I am not specific on why I want to get a house. Let's say I want to get a house this year. Yeah? January will come. They'll give me my salary. Yeah? I'll travel to the Bahamas and come back. Go travel to Canada and come back. Yes. February will come. I want to get a house this year. Yeah. I'm going to travel to these countries. I would use my salaries to come to Nigeria, eat food, flex, show, do dirty February. There's anything like that. March will come. So it just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. Then you come to December. And I actually wanted to buy a house this year. What happened now? I was not able to put a timeline to it. If I put a timeline that, okay, by August I want to get a house, by January I've already started planning. Okay, I'm going to take certain amount of money from my account every month in view of getting my house mortgage. So I need to put a timeline. For those who are probably in the medical field or others, you will know that when you want to write an exam, for example, some exams, and you don't put a timeline. I have a friend, he wants to write the US, some exams for the US, and he said, he keeps saying, oh, I want to write the US exam. Okay. January passed. I want to write the US exam. Okay. And the interesting is the US exam is every month. Okay. February passed. I want to write the US exam. Till December. Hey, I wanted to write the US exam this year. Oh. But he didn't put a timeline. Because interestingly, the exam board gives you the opportunity to book between January to December. So 2025 went. He didn't write it. I said, brother, are you still in this country? That's why I said, brother, are you still in this country? Say, I thought I would write it in 2025. Maybe I'll write it in 2026. What am I driving at? For you to achieve your goals this year, you need to put a timeline to it. And it's key for you to achieve, so that you achieve those tangible objectives that you have stated to do this year. Put a time bound to it. So if I say, okay, I'm going to write the exam in December, I will start working from January. Because I already put that by December, I should be done with these exams. By December, I should have sorted out these aspects. So every of your goals that you have clearly stated, please ensure you put a time on it. Sorry, no, time. Let me go to the next slide. So yeah, every one of us have heard this a lot of times. SMART goals, specific and clear, which is just my elaboration of the first thing I've said. Be clear. Be clear on what you want. You know, one of my friends is here, and he's an anesthesiologist in the making. For those that don't know anesthesia, I think anesthesia people were on the news quite recently with the whole Chimamanda story. I think for those that have heard, now they will make people sleep and wake up. We were all in anesthesiology some few years back. Now, when it comes to anesthesiology, it's not enough to be a general anesthesiologist. There are even very specific anesthesiologists. So we've got pediatric anesthesiologists, that's those that make children to sleep alone. Say, oh, you see what? I'm only going to make only children sleep. Those that make those that want to do heart surgery to sleep. So we have the cardiac anesthesiologists. You won't see them going to where they do brain surgery. Once it's cardiac surgery, they are there. But once it's brain surgery, not there. You get. So being specific. So even when you've chosen your life career plans and all, ensure you are specific to the finite details. And thanks to the internet, or Basanjo's internet, you can find a lot of this information out there. When I came to the UK for the first time, and I went to the hospital where I worked, for the first time I saw the task an anesthesiologist did, and I'm like, oh wow. My Nigerian guys do a lot of it, but they do many of it, but thanks to the equipment they have here, they are very specific. And I asked, won't you anesthetize for this? They said, no, that one does not concern us. So you can see the specificity is quite important. Some people will say there are limitations to it, but trust me, when you are good in that, you've chosen that your niche and you're good in it, the world will seek you where you are. So let's go back to the SMART goals. So as just I mentioned, sorry, return to smoking. Yeah. Okay, good. Right. Sorry about the brief interruption. Yeah, okay. And then my time is run up. So the SMART goals, make specific goals, make it clear, measurable, and trackable, as well as achievable, and time bound, to be fair. That's where the trackability comes into play. So we'll now talk a little bit about some problems associated with us achieving these goals. And that's where we'll just talk about these 4 things. I wanted to give you statistics. Yeah, good. Now, this are statistical effect of those 4 things, which are procrastination, inconsistency, distractions, and lack of discipline. What are the key statistics? So it's been found that 20 to 25% of adults procrastinate. Are you among them? I have a definition of procrastination written somewhere. So procrastination from still 2007, it's on PubMed. So for those that do a lot of research, you see it on PubMed Central. Procrastination is defined as voluntarily delaying an intended course of action, despite expecting to be worse off because of the delay. I take it again. Procrastination is defined as voluntarily delaying an intended course of action, despite expecting to be worse off because of the delay. You know that delaying is going to affect this, but yet you still choose to delay. And I just was going to share the slides. What are the possible outcomes? The outcomes is not just only on career, finances. I'll tell you, I wanted to buy shares quite recently. I wanted to buy the Fidelity Bank shares just to get some shares. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy it tomorrow. I'm going to buy it tomorrow. Only for me to got an email like, oh, they finished sharing their shares. Ha! I said, what? I mean, fine, the dividends is going to come in bits, but I kept it and I kept on waiting and waiting and waiting. Oh, I'm going to buy the shares. I'm going to buy the shares. I'm going to buy the shares. And the outcome was poor. Same goes for a lot of us. 20 to 25% of adults procrastinate. We say, oh, we will do it later. Whereas in that later, it's usually a delay. And in turn, we regret. And what does this effect of regret does? It doesn't only affect us financially. We've lost some good amount of money or some good amount of career goals. It also can cause health issues. Let me explain. I have procrastinated. I needed to get these things. Now I am sad. And now I'm tilting into depression. I now have low mood. Definition of depression is not the one that people say that, oh, depression, I'm feeling depressed. We're talking about diagnosis of depression, psychiatric diagnosis of depression, low mood. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. That's how I've just been doing. Oh my God. What is wrong? Oh my God. Oh my God. Then I'm already having that low mood. I'm already feeling that sad. It just keeps going on and on and on and on. And thankfully, the psychiatrist will gladly make a diagnosis of depression and be giving me drugs. Am I making sense? So when you procrastinate, you are not only affecting your physical and mental, you are not only affecting your goals, you're affecting both your physical, your mental health. In the long run, you need to fight it. You just need to fight it. And interestingly, it says 80 to 95% of students procrastinate. In fact, there is a study on procrastinations on medical students, and they found out that a lot of medical students, they procrastinate. It's on PubMed. It was published in 2025. I don't have the research yet. Probably I've shown you. It was published in 2025, and it clearly states that procrastination can cause issues in medical school. Then inconsistency. Yes, where's my slides? All right, inconsistency. Now, I would just explain something about the act of inconsistency. Many of us at times, we are good at, we start something, we just stop. Oh, I'm tired, to stop. I'm tired, to stop. Whereas you would not, you know, when you want to achieve some, it's just like there's a common saying. I'm trying to just give you a context to this. There's a common saying that I'm not scared of a man that I've learned 400 moves, but I'm scared of a man who have learned one move probably 400 times or 1,000 times because he has mastered the art. But many of us, I do this one, I stop, I do this one, I got tired, I stop, I do. What do you even want? What do you even want? Then that brings me to distractions. We are in the age where everybody's got a phone and everybody's phone is doing pum 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 notification. It's either it's a bank alert, it's a WhatsApp message, it's a Twitter message. It's been found out, statistically speaking, that 79% of people get distracted within an hour, with 15 interruptions minimum an hour. So you see, a lot of us get distracted. Our phone. This can be a curse and this can be a blessing. I don't know if I'm making sense. Oh, my time is right. This can be a curse and this can be a blessing. Sorry, just give me a second. Yes, good. Many of us, you wake up in the morning, the first thing you would do is to check your phone. You know, one thing I told myself this year is by 10 p.m. or probably 9 p.m., I am not going to, no screen time. Because we found out that because of a lot of people, social interactions have reduced. And social interactions help to fuel our normal human being. It's a context of wholeness. And recent research has found out that a lot of us, when we are so addicted to our phones, to our screens, and I'm only waiting for an email from the boss, I'm only waiting for an email from Jumia that you have won 2 million naira. But in the long term, social interactions in itself helps to remind us of our humanity. But as I said, we bask in distractions, always waiting for the next notifications, which in turn reduces our attention span. So many people cannot sit down to listen to a teaching for an hour. I bet you many of us would be sleeping, just like somebody sleeping on the screen already. But notwithstanding, it's fine. Many of us can't hold that, but we need to remind ourselves that in this year, we would reduce distractions. So you only go to your phone when it's needed. I'll tell you some of the habits I've taken to help to stop me from always checking my phone, because at some point I was so addicted to my phone. There are some apps I've downloaded that it locks every other stuff. It locks my WhatsApp, it locks my Instagram, it locks my Gmail, it locks everything. The only thing I can receive is calls, particularly when I'm doing serious business, probably when I'm at work, probably when I'm doing some study, or when I'm doing some research. I won't have access to all those other notifications. No. The only notification I'll get is a call, probably if there's an emergency. But that's all. Because you need to be intentional in this year. Then lack of discipline. A lot of us are good at starting something, just like I mentioned, start in January, and you start in January 1, end in January 5. Many of us are good at it. But tell yourself that in this year and in every aspect of your life, which includes your career, your family, your finances, you are going to achieve as much as you can achieve. Then my next slide is some ways for us to mitigate this. So for number one rule, which is procrastination, use the 5 minutes rule. It's so simple. Within the next 5 minutes, I am going to be focused on this task. I'm going to do that stuff now. I am going to study. I am going to do the application now. Many of us have lost job applications because we procrastinated. It has happened to me several times. There were some hospitals I was applying to work. I didn't get the job. Why? Because I didn't apply. Or no, I started the application. It was saved as a draft and I left it. And I said, oh, I'm going to get back to it. Deadline passed. I went and said, oh, sorry, deadline has passed. I couldn't submit my application. If I had just given myself the 5-minute rule of say, you say this 5 minutes, I'm going to do this and I'm going to submit it, I probably would have gotten some other bigger jobs and bigger money. You get my point. What am I driving at? One rule that works, statistically speaking, is the fact that if you use your 5-minute rule, you'll be surely able to execute so many, and you'll not be amongst the 20 to 25 adults who enjoy chronic procrastination syndrome. Second of all, to avoid inconsistency, is one goal at a time. You don't have many hands. You only have one brain. So you can't be doing everything at the same time. One goal at a time. Meaning, I'm going to do these tasks now. Every other task, as long as nobody is dying, they should hold on. Let me do these tasks now. I don't know if I'm making sense. I am going to do it one goal at a time. It's very important, particularly when it comes to, when it comes to even business, when it comes to IT. You could get a lot of notification, and thankfully some industries are imbibing that bit of, you know what, we're going to do this now and we're going to stop. Sorry, I'm just making a type of notification. So we're going to do this now. After this, go to the next task. So it's one task at a time so that you don't get overly distracted doing many things at the same time, because trust me, you won't be able to execute all. So it's good for you to have done one task and you finish it well and deliver excellence than you do many tasks and you deliver suboptimally. So that's one thing I believe we should work this year, and reduce your distractions. So I've just given you one of my recommendations. You could probably even do, there are some timers. There's one app I use. They didn't pay me. Block it. It blocks all my apps for at least 3 to 4 hours. I would not have access to all my apps. The only thing I can have access to is my calls, and that's all. Which will help reduce the number of notifications I get on my phone. Oh, someone is writing techno. Let me delete that part. All right. That's fine. So, as I'll soon be rounding up so that I can answer your questions, I'm telling you that in this year, we need to, before I got distracted and I was telling my story. So discipline. I naturally am very used to being disciplined, but thanks to LCA, I've been able to find my line in discipline and been able to say, you know what, I won't be able to do this thing. No. I'm learning to say no to some tasks and say, see, I am held up now. I'm going to do that later. Discipline in the sense that by 10 p.m., because when I came back from work, I'm very tired. No more screen time. No TV, no phone, not ready to check my Instagram, not ready to check my Twitter. No. It's either I'm sleeping or I'm reading a book. That's all. But this has to be intentional. You say, oh, I'm only going to do it for 2 weeks. Then you need to find accountability. Trust me, we in LCA, we can be helpful in your accountability. And there are all other platforms. So that's why if you go to the beginning of my slide, I talked about, when you have a community of friends that can help you in achieving your goals, they can be accountable to you and you can be accountable to them as well. And trust me, it's going to help you in delivering quality services. It's going to help you to deliver quality career goals. It's going to help you to deliver quality financial goals as well. I'll tell you, right, the importance of a community. So a lot of us did not know that in the United Kingdom, for example, if you put your money in a certain account, at the end of the year, if you put £4,000, for example, the government is going to put £1,000 extra. Many of us did not know. I would explain. They call it cash ISA. So, I did not know in my first year, my second year, because I was like, how are you guys having this money? Why? Because the government supports. But me, I didn't know because I didn't have the information and I didn't have the right community. All of us in the community were ignoramus. So you mean if I have £4,000 in an account, at the end of the financial year, which in the UK is April, the government is going to put £1,000 extra for you. Hola. I didn't know. That's where community comes into play. If I was in the right community, I would have gotten that information earlier. Because I was with the guy some 3 days ago. It was like, man, he's got £17,000, out of which he only puts £12,000 and the government put £3,000. I'm like, wow, my friend, you're making a lot of money. He's not making any money. He only was in the right community, heard the right information, and make the right decision. So in this year, please be intentional about your community. Be very intentional about your community. Is this community helping me? Are they dividing me? Are they multiplying me? Are they adding to me, or they are subtracting from me? I'm telling you, if your community is subtracting from you, please, I can borrow you my legs, run. If your community is dividing from you, so you used to be probably 8, they've divided you, you are now 2. My brother, my sister, run. The last but not least, I also read just got to like the truth about success. I wrote this is you don't rise to the level of your goals. The truth about success is you rise to the level of your goals, rather. That's error. And you fall to the level of your habits. So your habit at this point in your life is key at this time. So ensure you take and do the right habits so that you get to your own promised land. Your own promised land is different from my own promised land. If you ask me what do I want to do in the next 5 years, it's different from what you want to do in the next 5 years. We are all different. You can bring 2 of us that are emergency medicine physicians on the same table. We don't have the same goals in the next 5 years. I want to travel to East Africa or North Africa to deliver healthcare. He wants to travel to the Bahamas and be having holiday. We have 2 different goals in this business. Am I making sense? But our habits in 2026 is going to define what will happen to us in 2031. God spares our life. And the shift you need is just more of summary of what I've just said. Know what matters. Protect your attention, which I talked about the consistency, and I talked about distractions, and small daily habits count. So, final motivation. Change is built, not wished. Your habit shapes your future. Start today. Sorry, I'm rushing because of my time. And the last quote I would leave before I talk is, knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. So I have just finished talking for the last 40 minutes of my time. You can say I have heard, and you would act it for only one day. My brother, you're deceiving yourself. Ensure you be intentional about your goals and clear about what you want. I hope with these 3 points of mine, I have not confused you or but I've convinced you that 2026 is going to be a great year for every one of us. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much, Dr. Saz. Thank you for this wonderful session. Thank you so much for being a part of this webinar today. So I want to encourage that you follow us on all our social media platforms. I will be putting that out for you to see. Yes. So as we bring this session to a close, I want to thank each and every one of you for choosing to be present here today with us. All right. So your presence here has already confirmed the statement to us already that you are very intentional about your growth. And we look forward to seeing the great things that you achieve in 2026. Okay. So even as we leave this session, I just want to encourage you to, reflect on all that you've learned in this session. So thank you once again for being part of this session. We look forward to working this journey of growth with you in 2026. So have a productive and purpose-driven year ahead of you.